Who's playing this week?
Man, Super Bowl LIX.
Not the Raiders.
Yeah,
Not
definitely,
the
definitely
Raiders.
not the fucking Raiders.
I did have a
Who's getting
question.
their Who's getting their licks in? Huh?
Hey, I did have a question regarding that. I wanted to know who you guys thought was the better team out of this list. I'm going to name you a couple. We've got the Packers.
Like from this year?
Yeah, this year. So
Okay.
we've got the. We'll start off with the Packers. We'll take the Bucks. Um, we'll throw in the Commies. You've got the Ravens. We'll throw in the Rams also.
Okay, so list off that again quicker so I can remember all of them.
Packers, Bucks, Commies, Rams, Ravens.
Only one AFC team. Interesting.
Ravens, commies.
Yeah, probably Ravens, Commies, and then what? Rams, Bucks, Packers.
In that order.
In that order, yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think, and I
So
think
so the,
Packers
Final
Bucks are pretty
answer.
close.
Yeah,
the
Packers and
Packers and
Bucks,
who?
those are about the same teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So on that list, we're all agreeing that the Ravens are the best team out of those five.
I
Yeah.
know where you're going with this, but yes.
Yeah.
That's the best team that the Eagles has faced this season. There's been a lot of talk. There's been some media guys, some sports media guys from Philly radio that have said the Chiefs have never seen an Eagles team like this or a
You
team
haven't
as good as the
you haven't
Eagles.
played them. Technically they're
They're
right.
they're saying that we haven't seen a team as good as the Eagles are this year. I would argue that we have played a team as good, if not better than this Eagles team, potentially 15 times over the last 5 seasons. Between if the Ravens, who barely lost, are the best team that the Eagles have faced, I would say between the Ravens and the Bills, the Bengals during their prime for a year or two there, like the teams that we have faced, we have seen what this Eagles team is eventually up to 15 times over the last 5 seasons. Whereas the Eagles, they haven't. They have not seen this Chiefs team that they're about to go against for all of the marbles.
Well, that's not their fault. It's not like they're ducking you guys. It's not like
I
the
mean,
It's not like
NCAA where we can be like, oh,
nobody's
we don't want to play them.
nobody's saying ducking.
it's
They just
kind of
may
a
not
it's
be
kind
as
of a moot
prepared.
point with how familiar these teams are of each other, dude. We just played a couple years ago. These
Yeah.
are two very similar teams that played in that last Super Bowl.
I
It's
don't I
still
think the Eagles
Sirianni,
are
it's still
a
Andy
little
Reid.
different.
Like this is there's all that like Saquon on Philly, and they got some different pieces on defense, but it's a very similar team. You still got Patrick Mahomes. You still have Chris Jones. Like this, these are two very similar teams that just
I
faced
think
off.
this Chiefs team is far better than they were the last time that they played.
Oh, they definitely are far better, but they're still much different teams.
I just think,
They're very
yeah,
similar, but
yeah.
not the
They,
same
I mean,
from
so they
years
at
ago.
least they played the Ravens. Like they don't see the Bills, and like that would probably be one of the only opponents on our that we've seen twice this season that would be better than the teams that you just listed. Because I mean, there's a lot of we probably ran through some harder conferences, but like as far as like bet like the Ravens are one of the best teams in the NFL, but like the Bills obviously are a slight tier above them. So Eagles aren't seeing the Bills twice this season. So I mean, yeah, we see probably slightly better competition, but
And
it's
that's
Yeah.
all I'm going with, right? Like again, Tommy, you probably took it as a little slight there. It's not a slight at the Eagles. You play who's in front of you, right? But it's
Yeah.
also about preparedness. The Chiefs are facing the Eagles level competition, multiple times every single season. We're getting into the
Yeah.
playoffs, playing in the late stages. We are playing the level of competition year in and year out and still
man.
getting there
I just
every
think
single
you're
time.
reaching
Eagles are
talking
not.
about year in and year out. Like you just have to look at this year. You can't look
Even
at
this
last
year,
year because last year was last year. The
even this
thing
year,
is
we
though,
played the
the
Ravens
thing about
once, we
this
played the
year,
Bills twice.
yeah, but the thing about this year is like you guys are back-to-back champs. You're gonna get everybody's best, regardless of who you're playing. And that's just not the same with the Eagles.
Yeah,
Like
it goes back to last year though
it's
as
just
well
not the
too,
same.
because the Eagles did
We've
not
won
finish in first
18
place in
times
the
against
NFC East,
everybody's
right?
best.
They finished what, second or third last year? They're
Yeah.
not
Well,
playing the
they had a
best team from
skid.
last year in every division,
Hmm. So
which
I
is
mean,
how the
like,
schedule works out.
yeah, I just think, Like, yes, we can look at who they've played and everything like that. And to your point too, though, like, dude, if you're preparing differently for this game than you have been all year, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you should be preparing like it's the Super Bowl every fucking week. And that's why I think these two teams are here, because they've been playing a Super Bowl every week, regardless of who they've played. Like, again, like I can't like, as an Eagles fan or someone who wants the Eagles to win, which, yeah, I
There
want the
should
Eagles to
be
win.
there should
But
be some
Chomp dick, you
level
fucking loser.
there should be some level of preparedness that should be a lot different for this one individual coach. And that is the Eagles defensive coordinator, who has yet to beat Patrick Mahomes in his entire career. He
And what
needs to
happened?
prepare differently.
And
sounds like
who
he's due
also
for a
signed
win.
who also signed a short,
This
weird contract to
Vic
go with the Eagles
Fangio?
for the last Super Bowl?
Yeah. Vic Fangio
Vic
has a
Fangio.
bunch of experience, though. Do not, like, yes, he hasn't beat Patrick Mahomes, sure, but like, that guy has coached more football than we'll ever forget. Like, he's got like 20 years as a DC,
Well, I
plus years
swear
as
to
a
God,
DC.
if he lets Corn Dog up in the red zone, he's a terrible coach. If we score on Corn Dog in the red
Again?
zone, he's bad.
Well, I mean,
Guys, they're gonna run it.
Corn
They
Dog.
gotta run it.
yeah, no, I think, again, if you're preparing for some, what was Corn Dog again? Was that the,
The motion in and
like the
back out.
cancel motion, the motion that
oh,
stopped
yeah,
short and went back.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also, too, like, you got like, you can't just key on one play, but also, too, it's like, there's a reason you're doing the corn dog, and it's because, like, it's, you set up, that's something you set up throughout the game, right? So instead of like preparing for it, you gotta be like, oh, they're trying to set that play up. Be aware of it, right? It's not necessarily like, oh,
Well, it wasn't
watch out for
when they
corn dog
ran
down
it.
in the red zone. Like, that's
When they
not.
ran it last time, it wasn't a setup. It was something that the Chiefs noticed that their defense didn't do was follow out when a motion came in, and so that's why they ran. It wasn't a setup.
I
It
know, but
was
you
just
run that
simply,
motion, you run a motion in throughout the game, and then you get down in the red zone, and then you bring them back out, and now you're fucked. So that's how you set it up. But
yeah.
I also get what you're saying. And you do that because, like you said, you see something that they don't do, right? Just like, what was that? Oh, you ever hear the Cowboys and the Bill, one of the Bills Super Bowls that they lost? Like, the Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson saw something on like B-roll from the news company that was like filming practice. Oh, it was the shovel pass to the inside. They saw that on B-roll, and Jimmy Johnson was like, I haven't seen that all year on film. Watch out for that. And they stopped it like 3 different times.
Damn, they got
Interesting.
practice film.
Yeah, they lit like, yeah, like a news crew was filming B-roll of like Jim Kelly doing an inside shovel pass to their fucking running back or whatever.
And now they're not allowed to do that anymore.
That's
Yeah, and then very, very obvious reason why you can't do that as the media.